Welcome to the second part of your perception. And as we talk about this, try to imagine that this is what happens in your brain when you see something. I'm using the little boy to explain it to you, but this is exactly what creates your stress, and that is your perception of anything. So if we look at this little boy's experience, the same thing happens to you when you perceive anything. If you look at a car wreck, what do you perceive? It's not necessarily accurately what the car wreck is all about. So let's just review this a little bit. The puppy was given to the little boy by his parents for a birthday gift. And the little boy became extremely upset and cried and just had nothing to do with the puppy. Parents were perplexed because they didn't know what was going on. This is what was really going on. His perception of the little puppy brought up a very negative experience. Let's take a look at that pathway now. When the little boy looked at the puppy, it immediately went into his brain to decode if this was safe or not. Goes into his brain, follow that arrow into the eye, into the brain. It goes to the thalamus, and because it's loaded with much negativity, it goes the fast track straight to the amygdala. And then it brings up what he actually perceives. He actually perceives the mad dog. His emotional perception is not the puppy at all. And the reason that shows that is because if you look at the bottom right hand side, the memory of a dog is not positive. He has this memory of a dog biting him, which is very painful and very scary for a little boy. So the little puppy is not what he sees. It goes into his brain and immediately brings up his emotional perception. And this is what we all do. It goes and brings up an event that you've already had that's very similar. And so when he looks at the puppy, he actually sees a dog, it bit me. And you do the same thing, okay? All right, so think about that and take a look at the picture. You see, most of the time when you see something, it will take the slow track. Do you see that to the upper part of the brain? If there's not much emotion attached, it takes a slow track to the amygdala. Now, this is pretty much like the same thing that you do. When you come in and we talk to you about lifestyle change, change can be loaded as far as perception is concerned. You may have had a change in your life that was very negative. Maybe you had an accident and you had a terrific bill to fix your car. Or the change could have been something even more drastic. But immediately, and this happens in less than a split second, it goes into your brain for a definition, a perception. How do you see this? How do you see change? Well, I've had a lot of bad experience every time change happens. And it could be things that other people might see as positive, but a lot of your change has been negative. So it goes in to the brain for your view of change. And your perception of change is negative. So it will go to the thalamus, take a real quick trip to the amygdala. Now, if it's not charged with a lot of negativity, it will go to the thalamus and then up in the upper part of your brain where it says slow track. So it's just oh, isn't that interesting? Change. So, and then it comes back to the amygdala, just in case you need to have the help of the amygdala if it's dangerous. But if it's dangerous, it's not going to go the slow track. It's going to go the slow track. It'll go in to the thalamus and immediately hit the fast track and bring up any emotional perception that you have about change. It could be a change that was very, very difficult for you. It could be a change that was extremely negative. Even sometimes even the good things that happen in life that change can make a lot of difference as far as your perception is concerned. So take a look at this, because here's where you are. Lifestyle change. The change goes immediately to the thalamus. It takes a fast track because change is, oh my goodness, what is this going to be? Are they going to have me eat rabbit food all day long? Or even though I have high blood pressure, what is that change going to be for me? Is that change going to be something I don't like? Is it going to be something that I can't do? Is it going to be something I can't stick with? Change has not been that great for me in my life. It's been most of the time negative. So what's going to happen with you is going to take the fast track to the amygdala. And this is what you're going to be looking at. We can add more to the mix. That change is going to be weight loss and health improvement. Even though you have health problems, and even though you need to get the body fat down a little bit, these changes may be very difficult for you. This is a whole different event. Let's talk about this a little bit. The change still takes the same pathway, goes into the thalamus, immediately on the fast track, because you don't like change when it talks to you about your lifestyle. You kind of like your life like it is. But if you're going to change it, it might involve things you don't want to do or don't like to do. So it goes directly to the fast track and it brings up, that emotional perception. What is that? I think that says dieting. And you have dieted so many times in your life, or maybe only just 2 or 3. And every time you did, the food was horrible. You were hungry all the time. And, the weight loss did happen. But the minute that you started eating what you consider normal, it came back. And the weight came back with interest. So you gain back more than you lost, and you're tired. Your health problems are worse because you've actually made your health problem worse. Restricting food, as in dieting, will never work. And there are lots of reasons why. Probably 99.9% of the people view dieting, restricting food, as something that is very unpleasant, and may even have gotten ill from cutting food back to the point that was not healthy. So obviously it's going to take the fast track straight to the amygdala and bring up all the negative events you have had from dieting. So obviously, as it hits the amygdala, it goes straight to your memories of all the failures you've had. I paid all this money to lose this weight, and now I weigh more than when I started. Or, I had the surgery and now I can't eat any amount of food that's the least bit satisfying. Or it could be I don't like any of this food and I can't have real food. I don't see how I can possibly make this change. I know my blood pressure is too high. I know my cholesterol is too high. But dieting, it is such a negative thing for me. It's very difficult to walk around hungry all day long, or to even be able to not get to sleep because my stomach is so empty, or go into all the trouble to count calories and grams of fat, and it's just not a natural. I can't go out to eat with my friends like I used to. We can't go out to celebrate a birthday or a happy event because I can't eat the food in the restaurant. I have to stay with all these high protein foods. I do not like them. dieting has been such a miserable failure for me. So think about that. Now this is a picture of, it's a drawing, but it's not, it gets closer to what your brain looks like. If you'll take a look at that eye and the arrow that goes into your brain, and right away it hits the thalamus, that's the first place it lands. But if it's something that is extremely negative, it's going to take the fast track to the amygdala. That's shaded yellow. It's going to go straight to the amygdala. And whatever event it is, like dieting, or change to rabbit food and nothing more, or going hungry all day, or gaining back all the weight you lost, or now you have a metabolism that's even lower because the dieting slowed it down, and the low metabolism was the problem in the first place. And now you gain weight faster than before the diet happened. And we know that the dieting does slow the metabolism down. The Biggest Loser TV show, some of the people that the medical profession took a look at, they found that some of the people's metabolism would never return to normal after the strict dieting that they did. And this is always a part of restricting food. And take a look at that, because when you hear food restriction, or when you consider lifestyle change, if it's weight loss you're talking about, that's going to trigger a whole lot of negativity, because dieting doesn't work. It can't work because it slows down your metabolic rate in the long run when you're going hungry. So the goal that you hope to accomplish is going to feel impossible for you to reach. And 99.9% of the time, you're not only going to gain back the weight when you stop the dieting, but you're going to gain back more than you lost because of the metabolic slowdown. See, you don't see the change. Lifestyle change can be very pleasant when you work with the food you like, and you make sure that you're liking the food all the time, at every meal and every snack, when you don't have to go hungry, and you're eating food you like. It doesn't bring up all this negativity. That this negativity is your perception. This is going to be difficult. I don't want to go through being hungry all the time. I don't want to live my life being hungry, not being able to eat out, not being able to go to any kind of celebration because I can't have any of the food. It's just going to be a very negative event for me. So when I hear these things and I equate them to my only experience, because my only experience has been with dieting, and your wellness lifestyle is not going to be similar to dieting. It's not going to be anything like dieting. And this is why we don't go that route, because research has already established the fact that you cannot succeed with dieting. Okay? Take a look at that now, because this is what's happening in your brain when you hear weight loss. Especially weight loss is loaded. It brings up a lot of negativity. So, a little bit of summary here. The electromagnetic activity of the amygdala is synchronized with your heart. So your heart has a very important role to play in this. As your heartbeat changes, it'll change this electrical activity of the amygdala. So your heart has a lot of power over that amygdala in your brain. And this is where all of your stress comes from. It's from the amygdala, based on previous experiences that you may remember accurately, and most of the time the experience is not so accurate, because if it is very intense, it tends to be negative, and when it's negative, that's pretty much what you will experience, whether in reality it's negative or not. Like the word dieting, you're going to restrict food. Immediately in your head, hunger comes up, discomfort comes up, gaining back all the weight you lost comes up, or hitting a point where you don't lose any more comes up. It's all negative. And there's no chance in succeeding with that. However, if we take a look at how things work, the electromagnetic activity of the amygdala is synchronized with your heart. So we have to look at what's so important about the amygdala. And the good news is that it is synchronized with your heart. That means it operates in tune with your heart. It moves or it works together with the heart. And the heart plays the most important part. So the question comes up then, how can we change the second bullet, your heartbeat? How can you change it? Well, think about your heartbeat. When you're really stressed, is your heartbeat fast or is it very, very slow? When you are experiencing negative thoughts, does your heart beat fast or does it slow down? If it beats very, very fast because you're upset and it's synchronized with the amygdala, that's not a very good combination, because the amygdala, if you're upset, is you're activating it big time. And the heartbeat is extremely fast because you're experiencing something in a negative way, like the restriction of a diet. So it's very important to think about the way you can do something about the negativity that's recorded in your amygdala. We know that most of what's recorded there, you can't even bring it up to know what it is. Like the little boy looked at the puppy. He saw the dog bite right away. Well, that didn't actually happen with the little puppy. It happened with another dog at another time. But the amygdala is in charge right now in his brain because it was the dog. So it's very important to remember that the amygdala is synchronized with your heart. So let's look at this picture once. Okay? This is a drawing to illustrate. Your emotional center is actually your heart. Research has found brain cells in your heart. And we actually call this the little brain in the heart. And we actually, because of this finding in the research, we changed the way you process negative thoughts a little bit. It gives you the power to change some of the negative thoughts so that you can move ahead with things you want to accomplish. When we found brain cells in the heart, that actually created a new field of cardiology. We now have a new field of cardiology called neurocardiology. Neuro refers to the brain and cardiology to the heart. We have some doctors who finish their medical training and they go into the field of neurocardiology, and this is what they work with, the connection of the heart and the amygdala, to help people that may be suffering from some kind of mental problems. It's a good way, it's a good route to bring the heart into play, because the heart is synchronized with your amygdala, and in that respect, it has a lot of control as far as the amygdala is concerned. And think about that. If your heart is beating fast because you're feeling upset, are you breathing long, relaxed breaths, or are you breathing short breaths? Because your breathing will send a message to the heart. And when you're happy, do you see that little smiley face? The heart is very happy too. So how can we make your heart stop beating so radically and so fast when you're stressed because of the feedback from the amygdala? If we start the breathing and slow it down just a little bit, the heart comes into play. Because when your breathing slows down, it usually indicates that you're relaxed. It usually indicates that you're relaxed and you're okay with what you're looking at or what you're experiencing. So basically, keep in mind, in this manner, your heart can control the amygdala because the amygdala is synchronized with your heart. That means when you take nice, deep, slow breaths, close your eyes and relax. The heart is very happy with that. It reads that kind of breathing as very positive and very good and very healthy. But that slow down in breathing also calms down the amygdala because the heart has a lot of control over that. Okay? Look at that picture and see. The heart is slowing down. It impacts and calms down the amygdala, and you become that little happy face. So first, let's look at this, amygdala and weight loss. First, you lose weight through dieting. I think all of us have tried some kind of diet at one time or another. I know I have tried many, many, many in my early days. But it always ends up failure, pain. You feel like, what in the world is going on with my body? There is Joe over there that eats 4 times more than I do, and he's slim and trim as can be. Oh, how can that be? And then you start feeling like quite a failure. What am I doing wrong? How comes this is happening? Why do I have these health problems? And then the anger sets in. You're very angry. You're very angry with your body because it's not healthy and it's not at the point where you would like for it to be. And you've tried so many times with dieting and you just get heavier. And so then the anger grows. And for many people, it goes into depression and stress. And here we have the big, big problems. Because the second bullet shows you what happens next. So then the weight loss, even if it's healthy, there's going to be failure, pain, anger, depression, and stress. Because weight loss is already recorded in that amygdala. Weight loss is always failure, pain, depression, stress. So even a healthy approach, you look at it and you know that weight loss always brings failure, pain, anger. All of these things are recorded in the amygdala. And then that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to experience. And the third bullet, because your amygdala has attached all of your negative emotions with dieting to weight loss. And the amygdala does not have to be accurate. Many times it's not. Basically, your amygdala is how you perceive things. And any kind of weight loss or dieting, you're going to perceive, look at the first bullet, as failure, pain, anger, we do about that? We can help to change that because your heart is synchronized with the amygdala. So when we start calming down and breathing deep breaths, the heart says, oh, you're feeling better. Okay. So then the heart sends the message to the amygdala, calm down. This is okay. And the heart can override anything that the amygdala does. Okay? Think about that. Because in your wellness program, we can show you how to do that so you can succeed. And the health improvement and the weight loss and the stress will all improve at the same time. And you'll finally be able to reach your weight goals and your health goals at the same time. And we will work with it